So, I don't know if you've ever been someone that's viewed as inquisitive or curious, right? Um, so, we're studying on discipleship and the fact of how we are actually like Jesus's apprentice, right? Which is a student. Um, and when I think about the disciples, I think about them being very inquisitive. They're very curious. And you would find it in certain scriptures where they would ask Jesus, like, how is it that we can't do this? Or why do you do such things? And when I think about them and their nature, being very curious. I know you know the saying curiosity kills the cat. But sometimes curiosity actually can be good. Like now when you think of an infant and they're being curious and they just want to touch everything, like that's a problem. But I think when it comes to you becoming a student and you're very eager to learn and to grow, curiosity actually strikes me as hunger. So the disciples asked Jesus, why is it that you always teach in parables? And this was when he was talking about the farmer, the parable about the farmer and with the seeds, right? And this came to mind. I'm gonna show my age. I remember the original Karate Kid when Daniel went to Mr. Miyagi and he wanted to learn how to do karate. And Mr. Miyagi had him doing the wax on, wax off when it comes to his car and stuff, right? And Daniel got very agitated because, like, dude, I come to you to learn how to kick some people's butt, but you got me doing chores. And it wasn't until that he was placed in certain scenarios and situations where he had to defend himself. And he did not realize that the wax on, wax off was actually causing him to put into practice his reflexes. And I really believe that is what Jesus was doing when it came to the disciples. And anybody, like when you sit under him, when he was doing his teachings and stuff, and he was traveling from city to city, like he said, those who actually hear my teachings and like who desire to hear it, like they're gaining more wisdom, they're gaining more knowledge and understanding because of it. But those whose ears are closed off to my teachings, like they won't understand. The disciples were actually curious as well when Jesus finished praying at one point. They was like, teach us how to pray, like how John taught his disciples. I really believe if you say that you are somebody's disciple, right? If their prayer life or their word life doesn't gravitate your attention to say, babe, teach me how to do that. Or if you have someone that's living their life out in the front of you and their lifestyle doesn't cause you to desire to read more or to pray more, then what you following them for? You see what I'm saying? Like, what are you following them for? That's basically what a disciple is. A disciple is someone that studies you. Like, the word of God is to study to show yourself approved. So if you have people that's in your life that they're not worthy enough to be called as someone that you can follow, you need to unfollow them quick. I'm so sorry. They should live a life in a way where their prayer life should cause you to gravitate to say, I want to pray like that. Now, I ain't saying that I want to go through what you went through to be able to pray like that, but at least admire their growth. Be able to see their growth. You can be a disciple up close or you can be a disciple from afar. There was another scenario in the Bible where there was this man that had, I'm sure, you know, that he had this son and the evil spirits had him thrown himself all about on the floor, causing convulsions and stuff. And he asked the disciples to cast it out, but the disciples couldn't. So when Jesus came, Jesus said, like, man, how long y'all expect me to be with y'all? Like, y'all can't even get this right. So bring the boy to me. And he healed and delivered the boy. And the disciples were so embarrassed. They went to him in private and said, why is it that we couldn't cast out those evil spirits? And he said, this kind comes by prayer. And I really believe that around that same time as when they were in their infant stages, where they were learning what prayer is and how to go about it. So it's kind of impossible for you to walk into the miracle signs and wonders if you haven't mastered a particular stage. You haven't mastered your communication with God first. So to be curious is good, but at some point your curiosity has to turn into a matter of being convinced, being fully convinced. You're fully convinced that he is God. You're fully convinced that you have the power on the inside of you that can help others to walk in their freedom, that you're fully convinced that whatever word that he spoke concerning your life is going to manifest. You're fully convinced of the scriptures that it is real yesterday, today, and forever. So it's good to be inquisitive, but like I say, at some point you have to shift from being that curious kid to a convinced, mature believer. Peace.